Good evening, everybody. Hello. It's such a pleasure to see you in the chat. I already see some of you saying hello, so that is great, really. Yeah, hi. How are you doing today? As always, you can text in the comments. I see that some people are already texting that they are fine, and that is really amazing. So I think we can start. And today we have a pretty interesting topic, my point of view, but I hope you will enjoy it as well. So today we are going to speak about conjunctions, сполучники. And of course, we know some of them from the first year at school, something like and, or, but. But I think as we are about to have our exams, it's time to look at some more complicated words. So I hope you will enjoy today's lesson. Yeah, sounds terrifying. No, it's not like that. Come on. But yeah, I know that there are lots of tricky things, and not to delay the time when we look at them, let's begin. So first of all, help me here. You can see some sentences and just think, how can we link the ideas here? For example, I really want to visit your country in spring. Some word, the borders remain closed. So in the comments, as always, but. Yeah, so that's the simplest conjunction, сполучник, of contrast. So we have two contrasting ideas. One, I want to visit. Another, borders are closed. So that means that we cannot do two of the things together. But, yeah, can work there. What about number two? I am not sure I will be able to visit your country. The borders remain closed. Because, so here we explain the reason. Why can't we visit your country? Because the borders remain closed. Yes, exactly. Number three, I am dreaming about visiting your country. I'm not sure the borders will be opened in spring. Again, but I'm not sure. Well, it can be. However, yes. So a good equivalent for but that can be used after the first idea and before the second one is however. Yeah. Проте. Я хочу відвідати, проте не впевнений. So I want to visit, however, I'm not sure. All right, let's try number 4. The borders remain closed. Some word. I'm not sure whether I will be able to visit your country. The borders remain closed. I am not sure. So, not although. Here we have kinda the reason and the consequence. So works fine here. Отже, я не впевнений, через те я не впевнений. But what else can work? Although it's like хоча. So it's for contrasting ideas. And here we have like logical consequence. They are closed, and that's why, or therefore, or so, I'm not sure whether I will be able to visit your country. Ось чому, через те, по цій причині. So we firstly explain the reason, and then, before the consequence, we would use therefore, that's why, so. And number 5. Some word, closed borders. I am going to visit your country in spring. If closed borders. Not really. Although. Gotcha. No, it's not although. We will deal with it. Because of close borders, I would probably stay in my country. But despite or in spite of, не дивлячись на closed borders, I am going to visit your country in spring. Yes. So, despite or in spite of, не дивлячись на, some problem, and then we have some contrasting idea. That works perfect here. And with if, I would use complete sentence like, if the borders are open, I will visit your country, якщо їх відкриють. So after if, I would put subject, the borders, and predicate are open. Yeah? But not like that. So now let's look at all those conjunctions in details and practice one more task. So here you have to fill in the gaps with the following words. Let's try. Sherry has a great job. She is a very unhappy person. But she's a very unhappy person. Yeah. Again, two contrasting ideas. On the one hand, the job is great. On the other hand, she is not happy with that. Contrast. So we use but. Number two, the sun is shining brightly. The picnic was still cancelled. Yet the picnic was still cancelled. Проте. Okay, nice. Number three. The security lines are very long at the airport. You should probably leave early on your flight, for your flight. So, we have logical sequence of events. They have long lines, so, or that's why, you should leave early. Nice. What about number four? John doesn't like chicken. Does he like pork or burgers? Nor, which means not the first one, not the second one. Ні те, ні інше. John doesn't like chicken, nor does he like pork or burgers. All right. Number five. I'll go to Montreal, Quebec for the weekend. I'm not sure. Or, so if we choose between juice or tea, chocolate or ice cream, that's always or. Yeah, exactly. Shayla works hard. She makes a lot of money. And she makes lots of money. Yeah, so two ideas connected logically. And number seven, he loves her more than anything in the world. She is reliable and kind. So yeah, only word for remains, and just look here, we can use for instead of because, explaining the reason. Why does he love her? For she is reliable and kind. Because she is reliable and kind. Nice job. So then, now, there I have different sentences and their endings. So your task is to match the beginnings and the endings of the sentences. Shall we try? Let's do it. So what is number one? D. I did my best to pass my English exam, yet I failed. But I still failed. So yet shows the contrast plus the outcome there. Проте, yeah, I failed it. Number two, I got a seat in the front row. F, for I was really interested in the lecture topic. Because I was interested in it. Right. Number 3, he can speak English and Spanish fluently. E, but his French is not so good. Yeah, so again, contrast, kind of fluently, but it's not that good as English. Number 4, nobody expected Sam to get the job. G, nor did I. Yeah, so here, nobody expected, nor did I. Ніхто не очікував, і я також. So when we want to agree with some negative statement and nobody makes it negative, we add nor and then use inversion, the opposite order of the words. Okay, number 5. Everybody was eager to participate in charity. C, but the manager, except for the manager. Всі окрім. Yeah. Okay, number 6. I will get my car serviced. Okay. And that is A. For there is something wrong with the brakes. Because, right? Okay, and number 7. It was raining heavily. So we decided to stay at home. Again, logical sequence of events. Nice. Then, here, as you can see, we have different groups of linkers. So, to explain cause, reason, or result, we use which one? Who can tell me? Cause, reason, or result. C, exactly. So why did you do it? What was the reason? Because I wanted to do something. Or why did you do it? Because of some circumstances. Yeah, so that all explains the reason, the cause, or the result. What are the contrasting words here? Number 2, and you say it's D. Of course, but is like the marker of contrasting clauses. But also we have lots of them, like although, though, on the contrary, in spite of, and so on. We will look at them closer pretty soon. Which words are used to give examples? E, exactly. For example, she is very hardworking. That is to say, she does everything she was asked for. Or for example, I like this subject. In other words, that's my favorite lesson ever. Yeah? So you just paraphrase, explain with them. Number 4, you say it's B. So sequencing, of course, we use the order. Порядок, почерговість. First, next, after that, finally, eventually, and so on. And number 5, logically, that is A. So the simplest way to add information is to say and, right? But also we have extra words as well as also, anyway, besides, furthermore, in addition, likewise, and so on and so on. Okay, nice work there. So now let's focus more on words that help us add information or use the function of addition. So and is used to join words or parts of the sentences. We know how to work with it. But what's the next word here? That is used to emphasize the fact that there are two things. I need to call Yes, I need to call both. Обом. Обидва, обидвоє. I need to call both Andy and Helen. Okay, now we have lots of words which are used to add another fact or to say that something happens at the same time. Let's look at the examples and they will help you to guess the words. I need to call Andy, Kate, and Helen. I need to call Andy and Kate. Helen. Okay. As well, to at the same time can be. I need to call Andy, Kate, and yes, so you guessed all of them. I need to call Andy, Kate, and Helen too, or and Helen as well. I need to call Andy and Kate as well as Helen. I need to call Andy, Kate, and also Helen. Yeah, nice work. So you guessed all of the words, really cool. Now, sometimes we may use different linkers to exclude or include a few objects. So if we choose 2 out of 2, I could say tea and coffee contain caffeine. But what other words can be used there? Both tea and coffee. So, обоє з них, right? Contain caffeine. Number 2, when we choose only one from 2 given. In the morning, I drink. How to show that only one? Either tea or coffee. Yeah, so або, depending on my mood. And how to say that none of them works for you? Neither tea nor coffee contains gluten. Ні кава, ні чай не містять глютену. Neither tea nor coffee. Right? So, these things are called correlative conjunctions. And they show how many from given are relevant to us. So now let's practice them. Here I have even more phrases which are called correlative pronouns. So let's try. Number 1. Whether you earn an A or get a lower grade, do your best. Чи ти отримаєш A, чи нижчий бал. Yeah, do your best. So whether or, чи то, чи інше. Number 2. Both Joan and Bill are excellent tennis players. So 2 of them, yeah, обидва. Number 3. Neither the professor nor the students understood the problem. Ні професор, ні студенти. Completely right. Number 4. Not only but also. I not only lost the game, but also hurt my ankle. Не тільки програв, та ще й пошкодив. Oh my god. I forgot how to translate it properly in Ukrainian. So who can help me there? Okay, number 5. Let's keep moving. Professor Jenkins is щиколотка. I think there is a better word. I also had it in my mind, but I guess something else is there. Okay, Professor Jenkins. No, it's not an. Okay, it's not elbow. It's on the down there, joining your leg and feet. So Professor Jenkins is not patient, but fair. Нетерплячий, але чесний. Щиколотка, like that part that helps your feet move. Коліно? Ні. Guys, you should revise part of the body. Elbow, лікоть. And what is ankle? Okay, I will look for that. And the last one. Barbara is as tall as Mary. Yes, that is completely right. Така ж висока, як Mary. Okay. So now, your task is to find the mistakes, if any. That means that some sentences might be correct. So look at number 1 and write me correct if no mistakes, or if there is some problem, try to fix it. Let's go. Well, actually, щиколотка or кісточка would be the right translation. Sorry for that. Okay, so he hadn't done any homework, neither had he borrowed any of his books to class. So, themes okay? Yep, that is right. Let's focus on number 2. He didn't get to see the castle, nor didn't we see the cathedral. We didn't get to see the castle, nor didn't we see the cathedral. So what do you think of number 2? Maybe also okay, not really. So, didn't is extra. If we use nor, it's already your negation, це вже заперечення. So we don't need to say didn't. We didn't get to see the castle, nor we see the cathedral, nor we saw the cathedral. Or nor did we see the cathedral. So we don't need not part after nor. Okay, the next one is also wrong. Can you find the mistake? I hate snakes. I can't even look at a picture of a snake. I can't also. It's not with so. I can't look at a picture. So if we agree with a negative one, yeah, we say neither can I. Yes, exactly. So again, just look here. If we want to agree with a negative part, I cannot look, right? So the second person starts like neither can I. Так само, як і я не можу, meaning negative. So neither can I. Or for example, I don't like fish. Neither do I. I am not very strong. Neither am I. So when you agree with a negative part, you start it with neither, and then you invert the rest of the sentence. So firstly, you use the verb can, and then I, the predicate. The subject, I'm sorry. Okay, number 4. Jacqueline doesn't drive. Nor does Gina. What do you think? Sounds okay? Well, I would agree with you. Number 5. Either candidate is good. So what about number 5? Either candidate is good. Seems like correct to me. Each candidate is good can be, but depends on the number. Either, like both of them, yeah? Either candidate is good. Number 6. Each can be about many, each person in the room, meaning 5, 6 of them. Either, both of 2. So what about neither? Neither of the candidates are good. Yes, is good because either, neither would be always like one person. So is. Number 7. Neither John and Paula can come. Okay, so each is more like we take every person there and look at them separately, and every meaning all of them together. Okay, what about number 7? I see correct answers. Neither John nor Paula can come. Ні той, ні інший. We cannot say ні той і інший. Yes, and number 7. I didn't like neither of the pictures. Yes, you're right, either of the pictures. Or I liked neither of the pictures. So we cannot use double negation. If we have not, it's not neither. And vice versa. Okay. So now, here we speak about conjunctions or linkers of contrast, probably the most tricky topic for lots of students, but we will try our best to deal with them. So, when we speak about contrast, we have different words. And the first one, what do you think may be there? My brother likes team sports. I prefer individual sports. But we don't have but on the screen. So any better options? While. So while or whereas I prefer individual sports. Мій брат любить командні види спорту. Проте, хоча в той час, як я надаю перевагу індивідуальним видам спорту. Okay. Number 2. Some word Dan is an athlete. He refuses to eat healthily. Even though or although Dan is an athlete, he refuses to eat healthily. Exactly. Number 3. So, in spite of, guys, why can't we use in spite of Dan is an athlete? Just look at what we use with them. When we say although or even though, subject and verb go after. So we say хоча він є атлетом, or, for example, хоча ми прийшли раніше, although we came earlier, we had to wait. In spite of and despite are used only with gerund or noun. For example, in spite of coming late, or for example, in spite of bad memory. So there should be something or doing something to put it correct with in spite of or despite. So in spite of being an athlete, so you replace this Dan and is for a gerund form. Despite being an athlete, he refuses to eat healthily. And then it works fine. Okay, now let's try with the next one, number 3. So, can we say despite of participating? In spite of participating. So guys, between in spite of and despite, there is no difference at all. You just need to be careful and use of only with in spite. Everything else is completely the same. But in spite of something, despite something. So in spite of participating, не дивлячись на участь, Rob has never won a golden medal or a gold medal. Okay, number 4. Despite the weather. Or we can say in spite of the weather. Не дивлячись на what? The weather. So again, in spite of or despite are followed by whether gerund, ing ending, or some noun or pronoun, щось. Okay, number 5. Some word Jane enjoys playing tennis. She doesn't like watching it on TV. Although, even though, can be just though. Jane enjoys playing tennis. She doesn't like watching it on TV. But I would put though in the end to make it better. Jane enjoys playing tennis. She doesn't like watching it on TV, though. So pay attention, though can be moved to the end and still have the same meaning. Number 6. The difference between although and though, well, though is less formal. So in terms of formality, we have even though, super formal, although, like neutral, though more like everyday English, and again, more used in the end. For example, although the day was rainy, we had a good time. Or the day was rainy, we had a good time though. All right, number 6. In spite of. In spite of living, guys. So we cannot say I live with in spite of. In spite of what? In spite of living. So any better options? We have subject and verb. Despite living, again. So just remember, in spite of, despite are followed by gerund, living, or some noun. Even though I live close to work, I still drive there. Although I live close to work, I still drive there. Can be like that. Or in spite of the fact. So if you want to use in spite or despite, there you say the fact. Не дивлячись на той факт, що я живу, and then it works. Okay. And guys, when you text even though, be careful to spell it correctly, because I see some of you just write so, maybe being lazy a bit, but though with THOUGH, that is the right form. Never write even so, even though. All right, and number 7, I already have some answers. Jamie was worried about his team's performance. However, they ended up winning. Nice work. All right, so I hope we dealt here. I just want to ask you one extra thing. So I will type one sentence and you help me with that. So what is possible here? Some word being tired, I kept working. Despite being tired, can I say although being tired? So, no, I can't. But what if I want to put although or even though in the beginning? How should I change this part? Although. Although I was or I am tired, depending on the tense, although I was tired, I kept working. So with although and even though, you replace ing into subject and predicate. I was tired. So be careful with that, and then you will succeed. Now let's move to the next slide. So here, but, though, although are used to make contrast. You already know the answer, so what is more formal? Although is more formal, though is completely informal. Yeah, like we just discussed. Good job. And of course, you can put but that's less advanced English, and small chances that it would be included in your test. So, we can use although in the beginning. Although it seems like a good idea, I don't think it will work in practice. What about number 2? But it seems like a good idea, I don't think it will work in practice. Sounds okay or not? It is incorrect, so just remember, but can be used only in between. It seems like a good idea, but I don't think it will work in practice. Or there we also can use however. Проте, I don't think it will work in practice. Completely right. And what about number 3? Sounds okay or not? It seems like a good idea. I don't think it will work in practice though. Yeah, it is fine. So just remember, although is usually put in the beginning, can be in between the sentences, though can stand in the end, and that's completely fine. Okay, so also we can use yet to make a contrast, and that's kind of more formal a little bit. In theory, it seems like a good idea, yet I don't think it will work in practice. Проте, I don't think so. So a nice alternative to but, you can try using it. So here, despite or in spite of are equal to although, but after them, as we discussed before, we should use a noun or a gerund. So although I was ill, subject predicate, I went to work, but in spite of or despite what? My illness, I went to work. Or we can say despite being ill. So in spite of my illness or in spite being ill. So was gerund with ing or some noun like illness can be used with despite and in spite of. So now look at 2 sentences and tell me if they are correct. Despite feeling ill, I went to work. Despite I felt ill, I went to work. Are they fine? Or you see some problems? First is okay. What about number 2? So it is incorrect because we cannot use I felt, subject, predicate, підмет, присудок after despite or in spite of. Yeah. Although I felt ill, I went to work. Even though I felt ill, I went to work. So subject, predicate are perfectly fine with although, even though. But despite, in spite of, ing. So just avoid that mistake. Never use despite with subject and verb. Now, let's proceed to clauses of reason. So here we explain why we did something. And again, let's focus on the types of usage. Because I did something, but because of something or because of doing something. Because of, on account of, owing to, due to, against something or doing something, and as, since I did something. So let's try. Number 1, I made a sandwich because I was hungry. I argued with Sarah. Yeah, as can work in number 1. As I was hungry. It's fine. I argued with Sarah because of you, через тебе. She didn't play well. Number 3, guys mention numbers. So we can say because she hadn't practiced for a few weeks, or due to the fact that, owing to the fact that she hadn't practiced for a few weeks. So I know a bit complicated construction, but still sometimes used. As, again, I accept that, possible. Number 4, they canceled the match. Your ideas? They canceled the match owing to, because of the heavy rain. Number 5, I'm tired. Since I didn't sleep well, as I didn't sleep well, оскільки, right? Number 6, Anna decided not to call Phil. So what is number 6? On account of the time. Враховуючи час. Okay. So, what do you think? Because, as, and since. What is more and less formal? So, because is used in formal or informal writing. Your ideas? Formal? No, not really. I was tired because I worked hard, like everyday speech, because, really simple word. But as or since are more formal ways to present some of your ideas. We need to discuss this problem as it became really urgent, right? So formal official language would use as or since. Okay, so now you have to decide which word to use. Number 1, the rowing team finished last, having trained hard all year. Look at the word after. What form is it? Subject and verb, gerund, noun. So what should be used? B. Despite having trained hard all year. Number 2. I enjoyed playing football. My brother prefers watching it on TV. Whereas, хоча, my brother prefers watching it on TV. Number 3, my classmates and I entered a skateboarding competition, being advised not to by our PE teacher. Three A, in spite of, не дивлячись на те, yeah, in spite of being advised not to by our PE teacher. All right, so now let's speak about clauses of result. What do you think? What should be there? I'm calling to complain. The goods are damaged. About, I would say about the damaged goods, but here because. Why? Because the goods are damaged. The goods are damaged. So I'm calling to complain. So let's compare. Here, in the first sentence, we answer the question, why? Why are you calling? Because the goods are damaged. And in the second one, the goods are damaged. So, yeah, I'm calling to complain. So when we use the logical sequence of events, firstly, they were damaged, and after that, you decided to call, we use clauses of result. So let's have a look at them. Yeah, here we were focused on the reason, and here we were focused on the result. So one of the ways to express results is so. Also, we can use as a result, consequently, therefore. Таким чином, внаслідок чого, and so on. And pay attention, after them, subject and verb are used. As a result of is used with gerund or a noun. So, for example, I was tired. As a result, I didn't do my homework. Or I didn't do my homework as a result of being tired. Or as a result of my laziness. So here are a few more examples. Alice is a versatile athlete. Therefore, she was asked to participate in the decathlon. Ось чому. Or, as a result of winning a talent show, Mark is now a professional musician. В результаті перемоги he got some result. So, here we have some more clauses of purpose, meaning, again, for what reason? Why are we doing something? So, why did you do it? To help you, or in order to help you, or so as not to forget, or so that I could remember something. Let's try using them in the correct gaps. So, number 1, I'm sorry. Verity moved to the front row so that she could see the stage better. Щоб вона могла бачити. Number 2. He went online. Why? To check his emails, or in order to check his emails. Для того, щоб do something. Number 3. She turned down the volume on the radio. so as not to wake up the baby. So pay attention. For example, she spoke quietly so as not to wake up the baby. Or, for example, she spoke loudly to annoy someone. So we cannot just say not to. We say so as not to. Для того, щоб не. Now, let's focus on manner. So, here we explain like how. And we can say as if, як нібито, or as though, неначе. Again, those are kind of synonyms. She behaves as though she doesn't like me. Нібито вона мене не любить. Jenny speaks Dutch as if she were a native speaker. Як нібито вона native speaker, yeah? And by, it's like how exactly you can do something. You can become fitter by taking daily exercise. Займаючись every day, kind of that. So now let's practice again, and your task is to choose correct options. So 1. Despite being overworked, because we have ing, Rosie still manages to do yoga every Friday afternoon. Despite. Number 2. I decided to participate in this competition in order to gain new experience. How to make it with so that? Let's try changing it a little bit. I decided to participate in this competition so that. Let's try choosing this option as correct. So that I could gain new experience. So subject should be used. Exactly. Number 3, you already chose. Let's check if it's correct. Even though, exactly, we played hockey at school, I have never taken part in a match. Number 4. It might be a good idea for you to captain the team today, whereas, оскільки it's your birthday. Exactly. Number 5. Whereas, оскільки. On account of his poor exam results, like because of, yeah, he wasn't able to secure a place at university. Okay, number 6. Okay, so it's since he believes he is in good shape now. Okay, so I see a question about seeing as так як, оскільки, but here it's more about оскільки щось уже трапилося, we should react somehow. All right, let's keep moving. So again, another task, fill in the gaps, and I am happily listening to you. So, skiing is a fantastic sport. You feel some gap, you were on top of the world with the blue sky above you and with wide slopes below. You feel as though, як нібито, not just as though, як нібито. Well, answering to Polina's question, I guess, yeah, it's more like that. Okay, number 2. Some word. When you go skiing, it is good to bear in mind a few safety tips. Nevertheless, so here we have kind of contrasting plus adding idea. So it is great and it's good to remember some tips. It's good, but still it's good to remember some tips. So nevertheless includes both of those meanings, like contrast and addition. Okay, and safety tips so as not to get hurt. That is right. Для того, щоб не поранитися, пошкодитися. Number 4. First of all, make sure you always keep your phone with you. You might need it. In order to call for help. Для того, щоб. Secondly, pretty popular phrase, so you should guess it. Due to the fact that weather conditions can change, зважаючи на факт, yeah, that it can change suddenly, you should also have a snack and water with you all times. Skiing can be dangerous, but that doesn't seem to stop people. Dozens of people are injured or even killed every year. So what's number 6? Consequently. So it is dangerous. Consequently, як наслідок. Yeah, it's logical. If you are a beginner, don't act as if, як нібито, you've been skiing for years. Exercise caution. Number 8. So that, для того, щоб you can enjoy the skiing experience again. Okay, so here, one more test. I already spoiled the first one. Now let's try to do the rest of them really briefly. The tennis court is flooded as a result of the bad weather. Number 2. Josh is an experienced skier. He never goes on the dangerous slopes. Though. Проте. Number 3. A. In spite of the heavy rain. Number 4. They sound as if, як нібито, they know a lot about paragliding. All right, and a few more. In spite of can be used with gerund and with nouns or pronouns. So you can say, despite the rain, despite raining, or for example, despite him or her. Okay, number 5. As a result of his performance. Nice. Number 6. Make a note of my number in case you need the to contact me urgently. And the last one. Julie had never played chess before and yet, if все одно, she managed to beat her opponent. Okay, nice work there. So, I think it's time to finish, but I still have some useful links for you. So I really hope you will stay with me for one more second. So guys, if you need to practice this topic more, here I have a really cool resource for you. So please scan the QR code or just open our links in the comments. I have this link like extra tasks for you. So find it there, open the link. There we have really cool explanations and tasks. So here, exercises, 3 of them. Explanation block contains lots of grammar material, everything I explained to you with examples. So I really recommend you to look at it one more time. All right. So that's only one task following your link, but this resource contains more of them. And if you see them offered to you as additional blocks, you are welcome, you open, you practice. Because yeah, the topic might be pretty confusing, but this resource is nice. So like my recommendation. And of course, Quizlet. I couldn't leave you without it. So again, the link is pinned in the comments. It may not include all the words, but I tried to include as many of them as possible. So scan the QR code or again, follow the link, save this Quizlet for you. And yeah, don't forget to thank me. So a really nice set of words there. Okay, and thank you guys for your great work. So I still have tricky questions. So we can use for in terms of because. What about the next one? Although, is it more formal than though? What do you think? Yes, it is. Okay, number 3. Do we use so to explain the reason? Number 3. Do we use so to explain the reason? No, we use so to explain the result. I did something, so I got some result. Do we use infinitive after despite? You should know it for now. No, despite gerund or despite noun. Can we say during I was sleeping? No, we say while I was sleeping and only during some time. And can we use before and after with will? And the answer is no. Just remember, before, after, I do something, even if we speak about the future. So that is all for now. Again, really cool work. I hope you learned something useful today. So that's all from me. And if you have any questions, prepare them and ask them in the beginning of our next meeting. I will gladly answer all of it. So yeah, any questions, you may leave them even now here in the comments. I will try to answer in the comments or ask them in the beginning of our next meeting. That's all for now. Thank you. Till the next time. Goodbye.